former foe, you former Epic Soap, and this will be his very first ever Pro League match.
And this is going to be awesome to see. Where exactly is he from a televised match perspective? How is he going to do with the pressure on him here in this first game against such a big opponent like SoulKey, who is the guy he is going up against, third player?
Yeah, Choya has been around for a long time. He's been in and out of playing actively, but I can tell you for sure he's training a lot right now. I've heard a lot of people talking about him. SoulKey on a bit of a losing streak right now, is 5-5 this season, 1-2 versus Protoss. But if you look at his overall Pro League statistics, you can see he has played in total 172 more games than Choya has in this tournament.
Yeah, it's a big stat. SoulKey definitely having the experience on his side for this tournament.
Yeah. So we're going to actually go right into the map right now. See you guys inside.
Well, going right into it. Fast. In the purple, the Protoss player for Prime. Here he is again, Choya.
To the top right, in orange for SKT1 T1, it's SoulKey. The very famed, very talented Zerg player who seems to be having some mental issues with the game here in Pro League, especially in his previous match against MVP. It's another shot at Choya. He's known for talking to himself, singing in the booth, and moving quite a bit. He's very famous for that. Looks a little bit more calm today, though, compared to usual.
Yeah. Here's this Prime banner that we have for round 2. Changed from the one in round 1. That one was like, never give up, never surrender, because they weren't doing so well.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see a bunch of Prime fans here. They're doing pretty well in round 2 so far. So hopefully they can continue it today.
Yeah, Probe's going to come over here and deny the hatch first, which is pretty annoying for SoulKey. He starts the pool immediately. He's even going to drop a pylon here. Very Choya-esque to commit so much to harassing his opponent. And he's got a gateway going up back at home. Choya is really known for his timing attacks, not his macro games. You've seen him do weird cheeses. He's probably one of the cheesiest processes we've ever had in StarCraft 2. Whether it's proxying 2 Stargates for Phoenixes or for Void Rays, or he's doing a Void Ray all-in off 2 bases with gateways, or he's doing a weird 1-base DT build against Zerg. That's the kind of play that you see from Choya in televised matches most of the time.
Yeah, and if I knew the guy well enough, if I've seen enough of his games, I wouldn't be surprised if he did something similar in this game. I mean, especially, against a guy like SoulKey, a guy, even though he's not doing well, the past week or so, definitely one of the best Zergs we have here in Pro League. And I just would not be surprised to see Choya, come back here in his first televised match and just do some kind of timing attack.
Yeah. I mean, he's shown us even proxy robo and proxy robotics bay and PvT. Like, that's the kind of crazy stuff I'm talking about. It's not just like, oh wow, yeah, he does 7 gateway all, and that's not that normal, but it makes sense. It's like weird stuff. So he goes and drops his Nexus before the core here. Will lose that pile. He never canceled it, but that of course means that the hatchery is pretty significantly delayed for SoulKey. And this actually, unfortunately for Choya, supply blocks him quite significantly, so he's not going to be able to make any probes for a brief period of time here.
Yeah, the one pylon he has coming up here actually was only at halfway complete when that happened. So he's going to be supply blocked here for quite a while. He's going to have to add another one because he's going to be supply blocked right away again. There he goes. I think he just tried to add a unit, but he just couldn't.
Yeah.
Now he gets it down.
Stalker coming out here. Goodbye probe does go down, which will allow him to build an additional one back at home at least. Warp gate research is started. And for Choya, usually the question kind of becomes, which all-in are we going to see? Like, what is the next step? Because if he actually just plays macro, I'll be shocked. These Zerglings are going to have a field day here because there's no wall set up right now.
Yeah, just got to wait until that Stalker comes out here to the front to defend. Choya's going to add some gateways here at the front as well.
Just trying to chase those Zerglings over there. Almost said Zealots there, but Zealot's actually the chaser, not the chasee. I don't think that's a word, but I made it one just now.
It's okay to make up words sometimes.
Sometimes.
Everybody knows what you're talking about, and maybe it's not in the dictionary, but got to use something in that specific situation.
Well, words are created every day. It's true.
It's true.
It is known. It is known, Brendan.
It is known by the ancients. that this is the truth.
Well, I mean, right now SoulKey is continuing to mine with just one probe or one drone in the gas. Speed is about to finish. He's just adding a few Zerlings. Like, I think he's just going to go poke with those and make sure Choya's not doing any funky all-ins, because that's what Choya is known for. Like, he sees the Chrono Boost on the gateway too, and he's like, what are you doing?
Well, he drops down this robotics, and we were talking about this before. This map is just so good for these immortal pushes. We could definitely see it out of Choya, especially because that push is becoming so popular these days.
This map is great for it, especially in these positions. It seems easier when you're the Protoss player attacking to attack the top right than it is to attack bottom to the bottom left. We see it more often, actually, in those positions. Not like it's actually better. The map is fair. It is symmetrical. It just happens to be. And in televised matches, we've seen it more often in this direction. So this the commitment to Zerglings is going to easily shut down these Zealots, which is a bit annoying for Choya. He trades okay against them, minerals for minerals, but not having those Zealots to pressure anymore or to help out with what he's got planned is kind of annoying. Yeah. And oddly enough, he hasn't used his Robo. Now he starts it. The Forge was first, so he had the Robo finish for a long time.
Yeah, and there's that first Immortal. Seeing that guy there as well as that Forge, I would not be surprised to see a +1 with Immortal push here.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately for Choya, though, everything has been scouted. We're going to see just like we saw DRG do, just killing out the rocks here, meaning that he cannot actually go over and use that location that we were talking about. He's going to have to kill the rocks first, which will take so long. Something he could do, but it delays his push even further, which has been pretty delayed by, you know, some small supply blocks. And his resource management here has been a little bit off for this type of push as well. He has a lot more gas than he has minerals, and he's supply blocked again.
Yeah, supply blocked once again. Another thing I noticed, not to harp on it too much, but he was a little late with the +1 as well. Waited about 10 seconds right after that Forge finished.
I mean, let's be honest, like, Choya might have some nerve issues going into this. This is his first time playing in Pro League, and he's playing against somebody who's one of the most successful Pro League players you've had, and one of the better players in StarCraft 1 as well. So,
yeah.
I mean, you might get a little bit nervous, you know, trying to prove yourself when you've had such a long hiatus. And this push is coming out so slow that SoulKey's pretty confident to get a Hydralisk in here.
Yeah, he's even adding the Spine Crawlers. This is just like, it's just shown like 100% SoulKey. He sees the Immortals, he saw with the Overlords, he just has such a good idea of what's coming to him. And it's not the most efficiently done build as well.
Yeah.
And he's just giving SoulKey, you know, even just that much more time to hold off this push and just be like, okay, well, I know exactly what you're doing. I'm just going to add the Spine Crawlers because all I need to do is survive. That's what SoulKey's thinking.
That's a very accurate assessment. And, you know, grooved spines being researched here. Hydralisk will crush gateway armies. And with this many, you know, Hydralisk coming out right now, this push isn't really going to be very effective anymore. He's already got 3 spines up, like you mentioned. He's kept his drone count insanely low, and he's keeping a lot of larvae because he's like, well, let's just wait and see. You know, are you even going to commit to this? Because now you've waited so long, I don't even know if I believe you. There's the Warp Prism coming.
Yeah. He's at a ton of gateways. He has the Warp Prism on the way. SoulKey got a really good look with that Overseer, and, you know, maybe Choya's just saying, okay, maybe I shouldn't actually commit to this. Throws down that 3rd Nexus.
Well, I mean, he's made, like, way more probes than you would want with this, so it makes sense for him to take the 3rd base. Not sure if that was his intention from the beginning or if he kind of just realized, I've been scouted here, this is not going to work. He's got that annoying Mothership core there on the Watchtower to just kind of tap those roaches on the back until they die or move.
You, stop attacking me.
I mean, he's now adding both of the techs. This is really important. I don't think he's going to be able to force a cancel here, but he will force some sentry energy maybe. Nope, even runs away before that.
Well, he does get some damage at least onto the Nexus for now.
Choya's not in a horrible position because the Immortals are going to be useful later on in the game. But, I mean, this Hydralisk army that's coming towards him that he has no answer for, he has no Colossi for, he has no Storms, he doesn't have Blink even, is going to be difficult to hold. He needs to... Really, I feel he should use the Collapsible Rock Tower to try to buy some time here. I don't know if he already has or not, but this Warp Prism is totally just a great distraction here. He's just going to fly it around. It forces the whole army, you know, the whole Hydralisk army to go back. The Roaches and Lings stay, meanwhile.
Yeah, they're going to try to focus down that those rocks there by the natural, maybe open up another path. That Warp Prison unfortunately did not fly away, so it does go down. SoulKey adds a 4th in the meantime. He's getting the Swarm Host as well as the Swarm Host upgrades as well. He's looking in a pretty good position here, I have to say.
Yeah. The Swarm Hosts that are coming out here are going to eventually give him, so much pressure he can put on. 4th base here is scouted. And Choya makes another Warp Prism, actually. And clear up these rocks. He's just always threatening at 2 locations at once. But Choya's not making any mistakes here. He's able to cover these bases pretty well. SoulKey's just hoping he's going to overcommit one way or the other. And it looks like he may do it just here. Now those units are going into the natural. This is exactly what he was waiting for. And those Immortals, looks like goes on a move command there.
Yeah, the Immortal gets pushed out of there, and he does get focused down. These units are unfortunately not doing much damage because of that one force field. Very nice force field there out of Choya to defend it for now. Keep some units back at these 3rd base to stop that additional push as well.
Yeah, force field's decent at the 3rd base also, keeping those Hydralisks back. So Choya holds on for now. And the 4th base, though, on the other hand, is not going to be something he can attack really soon. This Warp Prism might give him a chance to. Depends on how quickly SoulKey responds to this. And Choya hasn't added his own 4th. He's adding now a 2nd Forge. And he's doing double Colossus production, as with his Phoenixes, he has identified that Swarm Hosts are on the way. And is he just going to drop off over here? Yeah, he could do some damage. He sees it Zerlings and even cancels the Warp in.
Yeah, cancels it. And if he tries to go into the main, he's going to see roaches in his face as well. Unfortunately for him, SoulKey is just, he just hasn't been pressured in this game really that much. And SoulKey, if you give him all this time to just set up this, huge tech advantage, huge economic advantage as well, he's going to look pretty good in any game you put him against.
Yeah, certainly. So, Choya's actually gone up to a lot of probes here, 70 in total. And his Colossus count's getting much higher as well. 13 Corruptors on the way, on the other hand. Choya needs to make sure that he keeps a good ratio of anti-air units with his Colossi to help deal with these Corruptors that he now sees with the Warp Prism. SoulKey should be able to catch this now with this many Corruptors. Yeah, there's no way that's getting away.
Even those 2 Corruptors, those 2 other ones coming over here to try to cut off that Warp Prism, but they do eventually come back and join together. Choya did have 2 probes in that gas for a little bit, but he did fix that. But it looks like it's actually going to go down to those Locusts eventually.
It's actually pretty interesting how Choya approaches the Locust problem. Instead of using his units to defend at home, he tries to force the Locust to unburrow, and that's how he kind of deals with this problem. A huge army moving his way. That's just so many Swarm Hosts with the Corruptor support as well as those Hydralisks. It's going to be very difficult for Choya to actually engage into this. And he's going to go for it, though. I don't think he wants to do this with all these Corruptors here. It's too risky. He blinks, though. Very nicely done.
Yeah, there's just so many Corruptors here. The blink was very nice. Very nice force fields as well. Just going to delay this for now, but SoulKey is just pushing through. He's, not holding back at all. He just wants to go right in here.
Yep. And a Zealot run by, on the other hand. Just barely in time those Spine Crawlers are, but will he be able to actually hold this off? That's a lot of Zealots attacking. Meanwhile, this counterattack, Choya is not going to defend. He's actually going to try to go for an elimination race here. And I'm not sure how well this is going to work out for him. How does SoulKey respond?
SoulKey responds by pulling his army back to try to defeat this. He's going to move his Swarm Host back as well. But right now, he's coming in here to this Hive and could actually maybe take this out.
Yeah, it looks like he's definitely going to be able to get that Hive. Those Swarm Hosts are coming back, currently unburrowed. It's a little bit vulnerable. He needs to make sure he does not get his Protoss army trapped here, though, where he's trying to break down a ramp. And the Locusts are hitting him while he's on remove command here. This is terrible. He's going to lose all of his Colossi here to the Corruptors. Even Roach is now coming to the right side, and Choya is losing a lot here.
Yep, now losing all of those Colossi, like we said before. A Gateway army versus a bunch of Hydras and Roaches is really hard to fight that one. It looks like he's just going to try to blink away and do as much damage on the run. But, in the meantime, these Zealots have done a lot of damage at that 3rd base. The natural for SoulKey is down. Yeah,
and Choya keeps all 4 bases alive, so he's still mining from his bases. So he's keeping this game pretty tight. And you talked about how it's very difficult to fight with a Gateway army against Hydra Roach. It's even harder to fight against Swarm Hosts with a Roach Hydra army with a Gateway unit. So he is going to have to eventually rebuild those Colossi. But here's the problem. Can he actually deal with this? I don't think so. I think he's going to have to try to continue to eliminate the Zerg buildings here. Ooh, tries to move command his probes through a very, very deadly vortex of Zerg. And he actually will get them through there. Does he not have vision? I guess not. He's not able to blink up here. He's going to have to walk, which is giving him additional Spine Crawler damage.
Yeah, there's a lot of spine crawlers here at that base though for SoulKey. SoulKey was prepared for something like this, and it seems like now after killing that third base, he's just going to continue on. But Choya, you know, like we said, he just can't fight that army, so he's going to continue going onto the base of SoulKey.
Yeah, SoulKey is cutting off any reinforcements from the main base, so no more Colossi really. I mean, double forge upgrades are on the way. Might as well cancel those. I don't think those are going to finish. He needs to try to avoid this army. The Colossus will give him high ground vision, so he can blink into the main base. Decides not to do it, and a misblink. I can tell you right now, I'm seeing on the mini-map, he's losing a lot of stalkers. That was a weird misblink that we saw there.
Unfortunate for him. And now the army's going to try to pull back here and try to fight this, but I just don't see it work, and he just does not have enough on the ground. You guys can see the army supply in the top right. He's down by about half right now.
Yeah. He's got basically half the army of SoulKey. That one Colossus is not going to be enough here, especially with the Corruptors targeting it down right away. High Templar at the back finally get their storms off. One storm, but it doesn't hit a ton of those Hydralisks, and he's just going to chase this down and kill it. He has more free units coming out of those Swarm hosts, and it looks like SoulKey will take the win here. Choya, a good fight, especially considering how long he's been on a hiatus. He's going to try to kill some of these Swarm hosts, but unfortunately, no Observer on the map, and that, my friends, is going to be GG.
That's going to be it. You see it in the booth. Choya is not happy, but you know, a decent try by him. He's going against one of the best we have here, so he can't feel too bad.
Yeah, and you know, he played a good game. It's just that SoulKey played a better game, an almost flawless game. Was able to identify early on what he was up against. Choya, his timing was a bit off. He took a third base instead. You know, there was definitely some weirdness about his play. He was a supply blocked a lot. You know, even committed to not canceling that pylon at SoulKey's natural, so some of his timings were a little bit off here. But that's going to be all she wrote. He has no way of getting detection to kill these Swarm hosts, and that's going to cost him this game.
Yeah. It seems for now he's just having fun with the Stalkers. He's not just GGing just yet. He's just going to try to trade as efficiently as possible.
Yeah. But eventually SoulKey will chase him down and kill him. GG. SoulKey takes game number 1. Highly favored in the match, and he showed us just why that is. And he ends his losing streak with this. You know, Choya's play there was a little bit strange, but in the mid game and towards the late game with some of the decision making we saw from him, I liked the position he set himself up to. Losing the Colossi was the big problem, because without the Colossi, it was very difficult for him to deal with Swarm hosts, you know, and all the Hydralisks he was up against.
Yeah, definitely. But a nice try by Choya there. SoulKey didn't really look impressed. His whole team was kind of laughing as it came out. But I guarantee you, you know, Choya was a very good player back in the day. And if you give him enough time, you know, this is just the first game that he's coming back here against one of the best we have, like I said before. Give him some time if he really wants to commit to this. We'll see another improved Choya in the future.
Well, he's just the first of many players to be playing today, and